Start recording. Joe, how you feeling tonight?
Feeling good, Preston. How you feeling?
Joe, I'm feeling great. Everybody, we'd like to thank you for listening. This is River Street Podcast, the River Street Podcast, the one official place, the River Street channel. Check us out, all the videos we have here. Check out YouTuber Joe Perry's page. It's featured on the River Street channel. Also, we'd like to give a special shout out to Jesse. We have a live listener we know from the Bet who's dedicated to listening to every podcast. We'd also like to give a shout out to Bridget. Bridget, thanks for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you very much. We will not stop. We don't plan on stopping. And I would like everybody to take a second after the show, go ahead and check out, or during the show if you have the time and you have your hands free, I hope, Facebook.com/RiverSTMarketing, Instagram.com/River Street Marketing. We're on Soundcloud. We're on iTunes. Search River Street Podcast. Joe, we have a great show tonight. This is going to be one of the best shows we've had so far. Our 14th show. Yes. Yes.
This is exciting.
Yes, this is the 14th installment of the River Street Podcast. I remember just 2 months ago when we started doing the podcast and we made it a priority to say, you know what, we need to launch our broadcasting careers. This is a great way to start. Tonight, folks, we're going to hit you with the blend. We always start off the show with the blend. We're going to give you some of the major headlines going on that you haven't been hearing about. Now, I hate to disappoint my good friend Joe Perry off the bat, but I'm going to have to. Skippy Peanut Butter has been discontinued in Canada, and people aren't happy about it. Joe, how do you feel about this?
Like, what is going on? It's funny that this came up on the blend because we were just talking about this. I was eating a peanut butter sandwich, and I was talking to Preston. We were planning for a previous show, and I said, you know what do you like better? Do you like Kraft, Skippy, what was the other brand?
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure of that one. Anyways,
it's a good one.
Brett, you said Skippy Crunchy,
Yes.
and I was like, yeah, I haven't had Skippy in a while, but I've had the crunchy one too. I liked it, and now you're telling me it's discontinued in Canada. No wonder I haven't seen it in a while.
Now, you haven't seen it in a while, and it's not just because I went up there and started hoarding it all. I'd like to just say that this peanut butter is still available in more than 60 countries, except Canada. Now, Canadians, brace yourselves. Skippy brand peanut butter owned by U.S.-based Hormel Foods, which they make a great chili, Hormel chili, is no longer being sold in Canada. According to CBS News, the brand's crunchy and smooth offerings have been disappearing from shelves as grocery stores are nearing the end of their supply. Quote, and this is a quote that's going to come from Skippy themselves. A spokesperson told CBS, "It was an incredibly difficult decision to withdraw Skippy peanut butter from the Canadian market. Although the company," and that's end quote, "although the company decided the fate of the peanut butter months ago due to competition and pricing that wasn't profitable." That's really sad, Joe. That's really sad there. "There has been a rush to stock up on jars while they're still available." So hence where the hoarding comes in of the peanut butter. Now there's other peanut butter brands in Canada, obviously. But the Skippy peanut butter alone is one of the premier peanut butter brands. So I think this sends a message to other peanut butter retailers and lets them know that you have to keep coming with quality and you better be placing your price right in the market. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to withstand the Canadian market. Joe, go ahead.
I just wanted to say it was kind of funny that they discontinued because the last time I do remember seeing Skippy was at the dollar store.
Yeah. Oh, good point.
As known as Dollarama around here.
Oh, okay. Dollarama. I like that.
It's a chain. I did not know that. Yeah, it's a chain.
I did not know that. That's really cool. I like that. The sad thing about it is I've eaten Skippy peanut butter since I was a kid, going to school with my peanut butter jelly sandwich and my lunch pack. I had the Skippy Super Chunk Crunchy Peanut Butter, and I absolutely love it. For it to be discontinued in Canada is disheartening for a peanut butter lover like me, and I am a real, true, hardcore peanut butter fanatic. Joe, is there anything else you want to add to this?
That's pretty much it.
Now, me and you the other night were watching the Celtics versus the Wizards, correct?
We were.
Now, in this particular game, it started off very quiet. It then got really raucousy. Joe, go ahead.
Well, Celtics were down pretty much the whole game. Felt like they weren't showing up. I felt like they were stuck in like 20 to 30 point range for a really, really long time. And now Kelly Olynyk throws a pretty hard pick on Oubre, and it drops them. They're both pretty tall, big dudes. It hit, I guess, where Kelly Olynyk had his arms. It hit Oubre in the face, kind of in the jaw.
Yeah.
Probably shook him a little bit. Was probably like, whoa, like he probably felt like he hit him.
Right.
Because right after that, they called a foul on. Did they not call a foul on Olynyk, right?
They didn't call the foul on Olynyk. I don't know if they called it a moving screen or they were going to call it a moving screen, but I do believe they called a penalty on him.
Well, once they did that, he ran over to the ref. It was like, what's going on? Why'd you make that call? Why'd you make that call? Yeah. And then, boom, 60 mile an hour, Oubre comes flying in with them hands almost.
Yeah, clinch fist.
Ready. And then gave him a sturdy push.
A sturdy push. And basically, Oubre was checked to the ground. Then he responds to check Kelly Olynyk to the ground. And starts what I would say wants to start a brawl. Because that is what's going to happen if two NBA players go at it. Smart enough on the Wizards and the Celtics players and teammates to break it up. But this just goes to show you that there is a bitterness between these two basketball programs. There really is. And you've seen it play out on the floor. I'm actually looking forward to watching more because this is hardcore playoff basketball. We talked about this in the last podcast. This is playoff basketball. Get out of my way. You know what I mean? Get out of my way. I'm here to win and send you home. Plain and simple. But really, the Wizards did play a nice game. The Celtics with Isaiah Thomas are going to be a very hard team to beat. If the Wizards can pull it off, they have the moving pieces in place to make a run at this NBA championship game. Now, Joe, is there anything else you want to add to that?
That's pretty much it. I like rough ball, but we're in basketball. When you run up on somebody like that, you're gonna get tossed.
You're gonna get tossed. He knew he was gonna get tossed. I think that's why he did it. At the particular time, I don't think he had any points either. I don't think he was a big contributor that night, as well as for this whole series. He hasn't been a contributor really much at all. If anything, he's just made the Washington Wizards look bad. But I mean, if it's about sticking up for yourself, that's one thing. When it's about attacking another person, you totally change the scope.
Right.
So, anyways, Joe, we're moving on. In-N-Out Burger. Now, this is a big, huge West Coast chain, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, this is a groundbreaking story because what has happened here is that while everybody was sleeping, overnight, Lindsay Snyder became a billionaire, who is the heiress, the inheritor, she is, to the In-N-Out Burger family. And basically, she celebrated her 35th birthday. As part of her 35th birthday, in the inheritance, it stated that she now, after turning 35 years old, owns up to 97% of In-N-Out Burger, making her a billionaire worth an estimated $1.3 billion, according to Forbes, and that was on Friday morning. This is a huge deal for people in the restaurant business, for people that may own a chain. When you hear stories like this, you can just see how profitable this industry is, in the food industry as a whole, how great it is. And of course, I have not been able to eat at an In-N-Out Burger like I've wanted to, but I have a good friend in San Diego, and he's told me he's eaten there and he really enjoyed it. So, other than that, Joe, is there anything you want to add to this story? I just thought it was a really nice
that's
piece.
Amazing. I would love to be the inheritant of, $1 billion.
Oh, that type of fortune. Yeah, definitely.
I've yet to have In-N-Out Burger, but we know it's good.
We know
you just know it's good. You see the pictures, you know it's good.
And you look at the reviews; they're all over the place, especially on Facebook, and Yelp, and you can see that this is a good chain. It's a very profitable food chain, and it's I would say one of the biggest food chains in the country.
And there's a little hidden gem. I believe it's on the main menu, but for anyone who hasn't been there, I actually know this little hidden gem. You can get what's called the protein style, and it's lettuce wrapped instead of the bun. So
I like that. Nice.
Hidden gem. Hidden gem within the blend, people.
So we're givers. We just give people things, don't we?
We sure do.
Now, this next headline is really interesting, and it can also be construed to be scary. Scientists have hit a milestone. Ding! In 3D printing of cartilage. So, let me tell you the story, Joe, before you respond here.
Okay.
Okay, the story of 3D printing and medical care is quickly moving from abstract hope to concrete progress. As Swedish researchers announced that they have successfully 3D printed stem cells that multiplied and differentiated into a material very similar to human cartilage tissue. Now,
so
go ahead.
Has somebody tried it?
Now, they haven't put the cartilage into anybody, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, okay. They have not. All right, I see.
They haven't done that yet. I know we'll kind of follow it along. I'll make sure to check back and see, because this will be another headline at some other point in time when they do that. But right now, having the ability to use a 3D printer, and not only can you print stem cells that can multiply, but you're printing something that's very much alive.
Man, the world today is just so crazy that we'll be able to do that. You know, Preston, there's so many people who haven't even heard of 3D printing.
It's very true. And if they haven't, I hope they listen. I hope
Look how far we are with 3D printing. This is so crazy. I hope one day that they can turn this into, now I know it's only 3D printing, but they're finding out with different materials and such. I wonder if one day we can get to, now this is a stretch, but if we can get to that day where you sleep in some sort of bed or tube or system, and you just kind of regenerate and you heal, like a healing station.
I like it. No, that makes a lot of sense.
I know that's a stretch. It's a stretch.
It sounds far-fetched now.
Yeah.
But down the road, 10 years, 20 years from now, we'll look back at this and we'll remember, hey, Joe Perry brought this up. He brought it to our attention here on the River Street podcast. Joe, is there anything else you want to add to this?
I don't, but just people, if you're, you're having a tough time, maybe you have some bad limbs or something like that, look into something like this, because you never know what's out there. Even if there's a substitute that's not 3D printing, someone can help you out.
Yes, someone can help you out, and 3D printers are at a premium as well. They're really at a premium right now. But we're going to get out of the blend. Everybody, thanks for being with us so far. After the blend, we move into our next segment. And this segment is great. And we have a great one for you with what's the difference between proof and alcohol content on a bottle. Now, me and Joe both know what's the difference is. We're just telling you what's the difference between these two. Now, I'm not picking a side. I'm not picking favorites or anything like that. If I did, I just threw that in there to be funny. But here it is. Proof is the government documentation of a distilled beverage's alcohol content. In the U.S., if you cut the number in half of the proof, you get the amount of alcohol in the bottle. 80 proof means 40% of the liquid in the bottle is alcohol. Folks, that is the difference between proof and alcohol content on a bottle of liquor. Now, this week's face-off, moving into our next segment, we have a very heated face-off. And outside looking in, it might not look like that, but I'm rolling up my sleeves right now, because I know Joe Perry's going to come with some heat on this face.
You better roll those American sleeves up. What are you wearing? Hanes?
They're rolled up, Joe. They're rolled up. These sleeves are rolled up. Okay.
I already have my Canadian boxing mitts on.
Yeah, and you got the moose in the background, right?
I got my moose as my coach. Moose is in
okay, good. Got the trainer there. Because you might get a little cut on this one, Joe. You might get cut up a little bit.
Got my beaver trunks.
The beaver trunks. Yep. Joe is very familiar with the angry beavers. I will also say that this week's face-off, folks, is orange juice versus blackberry juice.
Dun dun dun.
Now, I don't know if you know, but I will tell you that when it comes to orange juice, it's a very highly sugary drink. Okay, lots of sugar in orange juice. More sugar in orange juice compared to blackberry juice. Blackberry juice is a thicker drink. Okay, it's a lot more thicker than orange juice. On a hot day, you might not want to drink as much blackberry juice, but in the nice air conditioning, to me that goes down a lot smoother. And I will say that in this week's face-off, the blackberry juice has pulling me to it. I'm going to side with the blackberry juice over the orange juice. And Joe, I'd really like to hear your thoughts.
Now, we might as well put these boxing mitts down. And maybe we can fight over something else, because we're going to agree on this one. Blackberry juice, 100%. Blackberry juice to me, it's not like any other juice. It's kind of like cranberry, but here's the thing with blackberry. It gives you that wine feel, and you and me both know we love our wine, we love our cheese, etc. Blackberry juice, yeah, you hit it perfectly when you said, on the hot ass day, you might want that orange juice.
You might want it.
Apple juice.
Yeah.
Just a water. But inside, AC, maybe you can have a cold water too, but if you want to spice things up, blackberry juice, maybe you want to put a little vodka and ice, blackberry juice all day.
All day. And I like how you added the vodka and ice. That's not a bad idea either. Joe, is there anything else you want to add to the face-off? Looks like we're going to come to terms this week. We don't know about Tuesday, but we know right now it looks like we're on the same page here.
If someone listening to the podcast can do us a favor and write something for our Tuesday show that you want to have on the face-off. That's all. That's all I'm asking.
Appreciate it. Joe, thanks for adding that in there. That is duly noted, and I hope someone takes us up on that offer. Folks, we have a great segment for you coming up here. It is the best app feature. Now, we do a best app feature. We try to stay away from just picking an app. We've only done it, I believe, twice, correct? Where we've actually picked an app and said, this is, So
usually it's a feature.
Usually it's a feature of the app. So this week, it is a free text app, but here's the best part of it. It is about the feature that is included in this app. This app is called the Text Plus app. It is a little green box. You can download it on the Android store. Check it out on iOS. I will tell you, the best feature about this app is that you can receive calls and text back and forth without spending a dime. You just need to be on Wi-Fi and have internet connection to it. So for the best app feature, out of all of the apps I've used for calling, for free texting, for free calling, what have you, this is the premier front runner, and I know Joe has used plenty of them.
Yeah, whenever someone, everyone gets to that point, either you just go way over your data and you can't afford your phone to get cut off, or maybe your parents are still paying for your phone and it gets cut off. There's a lot of different variables, but you could be down and you have to download one of these free to call, free to text apps. Now, 95% of them, if not 99% of them, you can download our app, but you have, let's say, 30 credits.
Yeah.
And 30 credits equals, let's say, 10 minutes of calling, or 200 messages but no minutes of calling, or whatever, right? And then you got to have to pay for it, right?
Yep.
Which makes sense. They're providing you with something, but it still comes with a big catch. And with this one, with Text Plus, you don't have to worry about it. It's just texting. They don't stress you on buying tokens. You can't you?
Yep,
you can buy credits,
if you wanted
right?
to call out. Otherwise, you can receive calls for free and text back and forth and not have to worry about spending a dime.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really
shout out to Text Plus.
Shout out to Text Plus. Shout out to the Android store and the iOS store. It's great. It really is.
Mhm.
Joe, we're moving into the next segment here. Stranger weird things on the web, and we really have a doozy for you.
This is what? Say it again, because this is weird. Stranger weird things on the web.
Stranger weird things on the web. This one is weird. Okay, it's gonna fall on that weird side of this, and KFC publishes a romance novel featuring the late great Colonel Sanders for Mother's Day. Joe, I know I had to read this a couple times to make sure I wasn't misreading it or I wasn't drunk. Okay, I just had to make sure. Now, basically, it's paper flicking good. This comes from the Toronto Sun. Poultry fast food giant KFC has published its first romance novel, starring its hunky mascot, Colonel Sanders, just in time for Mother's Day. The restaurant has released Tender Wings of Desire. It's the name of the novel. Tender Wings of Desire. It documents the love affair between Colonel and Lady Madeline Parker. It is a ebook available as a free download on Amazon. 96 pages of spoof romance.
This is just weird. Like
This
I
is
don't,
just creepy.
I don't know whoever's running that team behind this is just obviously they're big readers,
Yeah.
and they felt the need to put their foot in this. But
Yeah, obviously they
Yeah.
wanted to put their foot down. They wanted to put the they wanted to put the pedal to the metal.
right,
But what you have here is a 5-star rated book on Amazon. And I just don't understand that it's a marketing campaign for its $20 fill-up meal promotion. So, I mean, this is really extreme chicken campaigning. And I just don't know. This is very strange marketing for a bucket of fried chicken. So, I mean, we see the commercials all the time. Now, if you haven't had enough of that, folks, go ahead and go on Amazon and go ahead and download this Tender Wings of Desire and have a great time with it. But you know what? I'm going to put that in Stranger Weird Things on the web because to me it's just weird. It's creepy. Joe, is there anything else you want to add to that?
that's it. But I'm looking for episode 2.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
I'm looking for episode 2. I need the episode 2, please. And if you could throw in episode 3 with a side of
Yeah,
gravy.
popcorn chicken. A little bit of popcorn chicken.
Yep, you could put it in one of those small containers. Matter of fact, here's a small cup. Just fill it up with popcorn chicken.
I would love to see the romance book on popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
With gravy or something like that. That would be a good one.
Now that's something I would buy. Actually, I would buy this book if it wasn't just an ebook, right? So if it was an actual hard copy, I would buy this book and I would ask them to smother it in gravy. I would ask them to dunk it in the deep fryer and then go ahead and mail it to me. That way I get the whole KFC experience when I read the book. Now, now Joe, anything else you want to add to that? Because I'm ready to move on.
I'm ready to move on, but I just
thought
one more
you were.
thing. If
Yeah.
I buy it, do I still get the dollar menu or Tuna Tuesdays? Is that no? Okay.
I don't know. You know what? That's something you might have to bring up with the late great Colonel. Folks,
The Canadian Colonel.
The Canadian Colonel, he will definitely help you out at the Moose Lodge. Now, this week, we have a strong junk file for you. Now, if you're not a familiar listener, if you're not used to hearing me, the American, Downtown Preston, and Joe Perry, the Canadian, now you're hearing us and you're knowing that we have a very well put together show. So, to put the icing on the cake, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is the junk file. The junk file, every week, folks, we junk something. Something has to go in the junk file. It has a chance to redeem itself. So far, out of the 13 things we have put in the junk file, nothing has redeemed itself, and that's perfectly fine with me. Joe, is that fine with you?
Absolutely fine with me.
Oh, okay. I thought we were on the same page there. Now, this week's junk file. When there is no restaurant open 24 hours in your town, no place to eat after 10, 11, midnight, when you get off work, working overnights, when you get off work or before you go into work for the overnight.
Right.
And you got no spot to stop at in your town or the town you're going to perhaps to work, and there's nothing there to eat. There's nothing there for food. So get ready to pack a lunch. But the reason I put this in the junk file is because in the modern day, who doesn't want to make money 24 hours a day? And also, when you see towns that don't have a place open 24 hours, or at least something that runs from night until the morning, why doesn't anybody come in and take advantage of that? I mean, am I missing something here? But that would do well in any small town, in any area you go to. And then also, you give the police officer in a town a job, because he's going to be there to watch the store for you. You don't have to worry about crime, because everybody knows you're that only store open, and the police officer in your town, whether it's state, county, or just your the town cop you have, they're going to know. And everybody's going to be aware, and they'll probably come in there and have a bite to eat too. So there's nothing wrong with that. But this week, junk file, I'm strongly putting that if you are in a town without something open 24 hours to eat at, that's pitiful. It's sad, and something needs to be done about it. Joe?
Just get out, move.
Yeah, just get out and move.
I will say this:
yeah.
I was fortunate enough. Now, some areas in where I live, it's like that. Some even the gas stations even shut down. Now, like I told you, you know this too. The convenience of gas station convenience stores is always a markup on the snacks,
right,
drinks,
right,
whatever.
Always a markup.
But I'm telling you, in the gas station, the one that's open later, the markup is crazy. We're talking like $4 for a bag of chips, like a big size of chips, but like $4 for like a bag of Doritos, and you're like, man, nah, like
I'm good.
What?
Yeah,
dude, I can get 2 for like 3 something at Walmart or something like that. So it's like, no.
And when I see that, I just want to go run up to the front and find where they're hiding those 2-for-1 bags of chips at. Where are those 2-for-1s at? You know, the little bag. You know, sometimes you might look out and they have them, but a lot of times, if you're in that type of town, you're not going to find it. Junk file, submitted, and published. Just like the KFC romance novel. Now, Joe, we're coming to a close now. We're winding down. We're going to give the listeners one great thing before we push them out the door, and that is the hidden gem of the week. Now, every podcast we have a hidden gem. We give you something that we want you to look into, to think about, or just hear it and in one ear out the other. It doesn't matter. What I'm telling you is that this week's hidden gem is Schwann's Food Service. Now, Schwann's Food Service has been around for a long time, before I was born. All right. Now, my grandfather used to order from Schwann's Food Service. Now, he would just get ice cream. They would come into your house. They'd bring their specialty ice cream, and then they would put it there. You know, you would pay them whatever it is, and instead of going to the store, they deliver over 300 products straight to your house. And they do anything from ice cream to seafood. And they are an online grocery store. So Schwann's.com, Schwann's Food Service, check it out. Totally worth it. A total hidden gem from top to bottom, any way you look at it. And you will be surprised, because even if there's not one in your town, doesn't mean they won't drive to you. They are more than happy to drive to you. They pay drivers good money to drive around all day in the frozen truck and deliver you goods. Joe.
I know people when they hear you say that, and they think, oh yeah, I'm gonna order my vegetables online or my food online. If you do your budget it properly, people, and really sit down and check out what your budgets are, what your spending is for this and that, you could manage it. Not everyone can, but a lot of people, you'd be surprised, because of the amount of useless spending, spending food out when you're out to lunch or whatever, just snacks. You could probably do it, and I'm telling you right now, it's like a meal prep. It saves so much time in your days, and you are able to do things like you weren't before. Exercise, work on your own business, maybe YouTube channel, maybe you're doing your own podcast.
Maybe
it gives you that extra time.
Exactly.
Maybe you're a writer, artist, whatever the case may be. It gives you that extra time if you have food prep People. This is going to be my mini final thought. Don't let making food and making dinner and your normal daily priorities. Don't let them be a burden on your goals.
I like it. I like that, and I like the mini final thought too. Folks, my final thought of the week is it is getting nice outside. I hope you get out and enjoy it. I know I will. Go outside, read a book. If that's all you do, at least you're outside and you're enjoying it. What I will tell you is that stay safe and don't speed. Joe, just like the hourglass that sits and turns over, I'm going to turn it over to you, and everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, please subscribe. We love any support. Please comment any ideas for the show. And if we always have our PayPal account open, and we're welcoming any donations for future equipment. Thanks a lot.